Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my boss prep guide for the midweek boss. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's just kind of dive right in. First off, I want to talk about a few things on the boss. Actually, let's talk about his buffs first. You can see on the screen, boss HP pretty standard, rarities needed to clear levels, boss abilities taken from the blog on the right. All that information's taken from the blog. Do with that what you will. In game, we have 300% red gem damage boost, 7 times bigger multiply gems, X7. The 25% less gem damage, basically negated by the scouting mission, almost makes it a wash. And then the botch gems are 300% more effective. We don't really care about the botch gems for the purpose of this video or this boss. Typically, special gems are a trap. This one is no different. Boss abilities, he hits like 13 million. He does more every turn that elapses. The good news is this boss doesn't overwrite your gems. He doesn't fill the board with silence or botch gems. So you can set up to break the shield ahead of time. I want to call attention to that and this shield. If you do not get this boss done turn 1, you are going to struggle. I don't think a lot of people are going to bring black gem breakers because it won't really factor into good damage anywhere for the most part. We'll talk about that more later, but you need to take out 200 black gems to break his shield. So that is going to be a problem. He also has heal. He heals by 20% of his max HP, so that's going to be a potential problem if you're not winning turn 1, those two combined. And then much worse than unfreeze is the increase of MP, because we have no way to get rid of this. Regeneration X just helps you generate more on a swipe. So if you get to turn 3, you have to get started all over again, try and match a bunch of gems or use props. So this boss is not going to probably be super easy to turn 1. There are a couple options that are there. There's one option that's huge, that's not really consistent, potentially, and is dangerous, but the positive gain is huge. There's another one that's very consistent, and maybe 2 of them you could count on carrying, but I do think most factions, other than the top, maybe 3, 4, 5, should probably plan on going deeper and bringing the right breakers, and more importantly, a shield breaker. So just know that you should have a role in this. You should be a productive carry. Do not bring someone worthless to this boss. Don't be that faction mate, or your faction will struggle. So let's kind of dive in, talk about what's going to be good, that kind of stuff. Now that we see the boss's abilities, what's boosted, what we're dealing with, we'll go into the lineup card, and let's start off with focused. So you may notice and I've made some, these are not exhaustive, but they are options. So for focused, you can see I have listed for damage, no one bring shield breaker. I absolutely mean that. People are going to say, oh, but my showboat Seamus, he will hit so hard. No, he'll hit. He will not hit hard, and you'd be much better off bringing a shield breaker in this slot. So in my case, on my roster, I am going to bring Zombie Sammy. I already have him at gold. I'm going to bring him. I'm not going to worry about Regeneration X. Very, very simple. I am going to hit one move over and over and over when the shield comes up. I am not bringing him for damage. I don't care about his damage. His damage is not important. It doesn't matter. My whole goal in life is to get ready the start of turn 2 and just spam this over and over and over. It's a 3x7 area. It's 21 gems, and it refills itself. So theoretically, I can probably hit this 5 times, maybe between 4 and 6 times, depending on cascades. So I'm good for half of the shield, approximately, with Sammy. That can break half of the shield. So that's what I'm bringing in focused. Is it sexy? No. Is it productive carry? Yes. So that's my focus guy, right? More examples of shield breakers. So Zombie Sammy's a good guy. You're not wasted taking him to gold. Another really, really great one, and this guy's an incredible coach. He's worth taking to gold anyway. Stunning Steve. So remember how I said the boss doesn't cover your gems? You can actually have the 4 snowfall gems loaded, You could have the black gems loaded and choose across the top purple. You could have the whole row, if you're setting up ahead of time, ready with black snowfall gems. You could get this move out twice, swipe gems, etc. Blah, 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 whatever you got to do, props. And you could have the whole row ready to blow and this loaded and choose across purple gems to get all of this. And then, which is, not 49, 42 black gems. And then you could throw 4 out right away and break it again right away and continue on. I would definitely have matchy match for this guy, right, to help recycle. So NWO Hogan, a 3 match makes it 5. You might want even more than that, since a 4 match makes it 6 to get to the black filled. So you might also use on the Entourage, what's her butt starting board, Alundra and NWO Hogan, for example, right? Because your whole goal again is to break the shield. So he's another potentially really good one. A few more. Truth is somebody that a lot of you may have gold. You're like, what? Truth? Yeah, Truth. 1 move. You only need 1 move. Truth Axe. Choose 6 gems to make into 2 turn Juggernaut gems. That will make 5 random gems into color turn on every countdown, and then make 8 random gems into black gems. 6 times 8 is 48. You get the whole board. Don't mess around and put more Juggernauts down. You'll make too many color turns and mess it up. 6 is the perfect amount. So what you can do in Truth's case is you can have your 6 gems out. You can swipe once, have the color gems out and it ticked, and because it's not going to be overwritten at the start of the boss's second turn when the shield is out, you just swipe and boom, you go off and the whole board's full of black gems. Oh, and it refills itself. So you can just repeat that right away, put them down, swipe, swipe, whole board's full of black, etc., etc. Great shield breaker in the focus slot. Also decent fighter if you have the right stuff, really good fighter. So again, Sammy not wasted, Truth not wasted, Stunning Steve not wasted, Rocky 76, very good trainer in situations, potentially, where he's all move damage, 100% at gold. Also wouldn't be wasted moving up. And he has 5x1 area into pyros, choose 8 gems to make into green, sets it off, right? So just this in the finisher over and over. Blowing up the board again, same thing. You could have the whole bottom row ready to go. And then choose across the start of turn 2, blow up the board, rinse, repeat, right? You guys noticing a theme here in Focused. I'm not even going to talk about the damage dealers because you're doing your squad a disservice, and Regeneration X isn't nearly as important as Unfreeze would be in the Unfreeze situation. So bring a Black Breaker. I think Brett can do black gems too. He's not on my list. Like I said, I'm sure I missed some. I spent a ton of time on this. Yeah, you can use the sub to make black snowfall gems, and then you can use the destroy, right? So just these 2 moves, the sub and the finisher. Destroy the 3 rows, make them black. Don't even worry about the power gems. Again, get it ready to go. I've hit a bunch of subs. You could load a bunch of subs, get the whole board loaded, you know, break the top row, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Those 2 moves over and over. So Brett could easily be on there, another focused one. And I should have that on there, but it's not. Also, I want to mention a few people. So the guys on my stream that we were doing this before I had to go, all these great suggestions. And then a bunch of my factions mates, Vampiro, Kid X, One Wing, and Razor we were doing some talking. I've been working on this for, well, not counting stream, probably a good 2.5 hours. So it's not perfect, but it should help. So those are kind of some of your options. If you don't have any of the guys I listed, find a black gem chucker and go to town, right? So for me, like I said, I'm gonna run with Z Sammy. Do I have I think I have Striker Promoter. I have 4 leveled up now. For boss battle. Not him. So I probably won't go with him first because I don't have a Striker. So I'll go with R-Truth first if I have a Trickster. Watch that be the 2 I'm missing. And then I'll go to Sammy if I need to carry with a Shield Breaker. Because I like getting my promoters done first. And if I don't have him a Trickster one, then we're in trouble. Alright, looks like that slot potentially will be a non-productive carry, or I'll just eat it and not use the boss promoter. So, Aggressive. You may notice the aggressive list is huge. That's because there are a ton of great options at aggressive. This would be what I would classify as your damage dealing slot. In the aggressive slot, you are going to want to bring a big boy that can hit and hit hard. But if you don't have that, you can also bring a shield boy. And in some cases, you can bring both. So Wildcard Hogan or Chuck Black Gems Hogan can potentially be great for Black Gems, of course. But excuse me, there is a risky moveset. I played this a bunch on stream, especially if you have the gear that can hit really hard. Let me show you. So if you have the gear in particular, of course, there's no plates this boss. I forgot to mention. It's steel cage again, no plates. Thank you, Scopely. This is like 5 freaking bosses in a row. And this build is kind of weird. Scoop slam and then make multiply gems and then make 8 random gems into red. If you have the gear, it adds 4 MP, 5 with your turn. So we only need 8. So we're running Woods and Sherry. And we have, I was using Naya to generate 3 more reds. The moment is also huge because you need to make a bunch of these reds. So if you don't have those, you're going to have to go gem generate instead. So Naya creates 3, Sherry's 4 multipliers, and then we got Bailey for red gems do 40% more damage. The substitute for Naya is Zombie Bianca if you don't have Naya. You lose a little bit of red gem damage, keep the 3 red gems, right? So let me show you what this can do potentially, guys. Also, though, like I said, moments are going to matter for sure because we have 3 more gem generate on this one. We have multiply gem strength 4 on this one. Moves that generate all color gems generate 5 more. So the WrestleMania 1 is huge. This one is multiply 1, strength 1, and gems do 25% more. So a bunch of moments and the gear that will make Hogan hit extremely hard. Hardest hitter. I think he easily has the potential for the highest top end, but it also depends on your starting board. If you get one like this, you're potentially okay. So we hit the red gem buff, right? And you can see we're at like 2 million a red gem. Now we make 7 multiplies. We're at 31 million. Okay. Boss is 7 times bigger. These are 14. So they end up going like over 45 million, I think it is, per, right? And then you chuck 19 random reds and hopefully you connect. And that's without the 400% or the 300% boss boost. Here you can see I didn't connect and I still hit for 174 million, missing 3, right? That right there, that 174 million is probably pushing $1 billion in boss, and that was missing 3. The problem is it doesn't recycle, right? And not everyone is going to have all this stuff. So you want to bring black MP up props, and this has Fury 3s on because it's for boss, etc. I didn't change my Hogan, but bring black up props for this just in case. You would have to burn 3 to get back to it. But you'd hit even harder the second time because there'd be reds on the board. I'm just showing you it can go wrong. So I just want to show you guys, I wouldn't count on this to work every single time. You can decrease the multiply gem trainers and increase the red gem chucking to keep it more consistent, but less top end. Here you can see we hit all of them and hit for 195 million, right? So it's pretty crazy. It just depends. So that's what I would call the damage build for Hogan. Of course, you can just chuck wild cards, grow the damage over and over sort of thing. That does extremely well. And then you can also break black gems instead of the make random red. You can move the finisher in, right? And do this thing to break the black gems. So, you know, whatever. If you want to do that, but I think wild card would be the other play. You can do a combination that's the wild card as well, but you a lot of times overwrite your multiplies. So you could run like this type of thing, and he makes a few more wild card gems and stuff. So you could run a tricolor like this, and then you would change this to Kofi. So if you want kind of the best of both worlds, potentially sort of thing, you could go this kind of route. But the wildcards can overwrite the multiplies, unfortunately. So it's really hit or miss. This one is really hit or miss. And this one is probably a fairly big hit. You can see 184. And if you look, we almost recycled all of it. We were one yellow short. So that's kind of your options with Hogan. If you don't have the gear, the damage becomes less impressive. The trainers basically stay the same. For the first moveset I showed you, you wouldn't run the tricolor, right? Because you're using props. So you either use props with the first moveset and run what I showed you, or this becomes... If you have the moments but not the gear, this could be really good. Run it this way instead. And then again, you can sub Bianca for Naya. So that's Hogan. Okay. The other one that has the potential to be huge, and I can't show it as well. Shout out to Ocho. This was Ocho's call. I completely had forgotten about Ali for this moveset, and I shouldn't have. So Ali can run the Dirty Clinch, which gets a 22 multiplies on the board. The countdown gems, which you're not going to lose. Here, he makes 10 into, and they do 20% gem damage, so that's 200%, right? And then the 5x5 area to swap into reds. And his build for this was, if I'm not mistaken, this. Again, this is all E with gear and moments. So the multiply gems, you're adding 4 to with the Sherry plus the moments. And then Seth adds 4 more countdown. Solo adds 3 more countdown. So now you're making 17 countdown gems at 20%, and they're all going to stay. The gameplay loop for this is going to be sub, throw your countdowns out, swipe, and then place the 5x5 over the biggest area, right? Ollie should actually hit potentially as hard as Hogan, depending on the mix, but harder, I think, than anyone else. I think those are your top 2 for this boss, right? I think Vader set up well. Showboat Vader will do about, like I said, this is the damage one, so I'm going to show you guys some setups for the damage one. Showboat Vader should do about with the setup I'm going to show you. Of course, the plate doesn't count. With 100% strap, plate won't work. You add Fury 3s, I think you'll do about 600 million in a loop. And the setup would be this. Santa. Oops. So Sting, Santa, Mosh, and Howdy. It's fine if you don't have Howdy. Use whatever multiply trainer you have, preferably Zombie Bailey, right? That's the sub there. You can also run Sting, Sherry instead of Mosh with Howdy. You can also run Sting and Giant, Andre the Giant for 2 red MP to multiply, and then this becomes Leo and Howdy. So there's a bunch of different ways you can run it. You can mess around, experiment with what you like. All of them are pretty close-ish, but this has the potential for the best because it makes all 25 multiplies, right? So every reinforce turns into a multiply. And then you just, this is feud ready too, by the way, if you're ever curious about Vader, what he could do in feud. You're going to see it right here. And like I said, the plate is doing something, and we hit for 100 million. So yeah, I expect him to do like anywhere from, say that the way I have him set up, probably like 600 million is my guesstimate, approximately. So pretty good. You maybe can get 2 loops, but it's hard to get 6 moves in boss, so I would not count on it. So he's very, very good. Now Bray has a fantastic in that he can break the shield and do damage. Unfortunately, we can't take advantage of his Hogan plate, which is not good. But what is good is you can use the sub and you're going to keep all 36 of the multiply gems on the board. So 36 multiply gems times 5, they turn into times 7. Then you make the whole board red, and then this move can help with the shield, 49 black gems, right? So this move set for Bray will be really good in damage, really good in the shield, of course. The longer the match goes, the better somebody like Powerhouse Austin is going to get. No Titan plate, so you lose growing the damage with that. However, you will have his gem percent damage go up every single time, so I would just hit those over and over and over. And he can grow his damage, so he's a good damage dealer. New Big Boss Man. If you happen to have recruited him, he's an option. His botch moveset looks really good when you look at it, but maybe we'll do about 200 million with everything on the per damage finisher. So 5 columns, and then the finisher, he has 99 MP, right? So you can load everyone up on it, all the botch trainers. 1.35 million. That finisher is going to do maybe 200 mil tops on the bonus damage, and then it does, however, make 36 botches into black gems. So he's also good at the shield. But and then the botches are 300%, so it will do some damage, but it's not going to be crazy because there's no multiplies. It's an off color, right? So it's just one buff. So he won't be insanely good, but he's another dual threat that way. So Champ Sammy is not usually good at much of anything. Red Boss is a place where he actually can do pretty well. He's sort of like Jacob Light. Sort of. Right here. You hit your sub, and you get 40 red multiply gems of strength 4. And then you throw your countdown out, and you swipe it twice. This fills up your blue, and then you just rinse, repeat. Sorry, swipe once, rinse, repeat, and it's reds into the multiplies. So he's okay. Showboat Seth, of course, is just triple red, reinforce, very similar to Vader, but the benefit for Showboat Seth is he has a gem buff that will continue to grow over time. So if you're running Seth, triple red, 150% red boost, and he's popping those reds twice with the reinforce, right? So he will get better over time. And then SE Cena has a red buff. The Pyro buff turns the board red. Special edition Showboat Cena. I don't have him. All of those guys, for the most part, should be decent damage, with the worst three being Sammy, Bossman, and Austin, I think. But Austin has the potential to grow his damage, where Bossman and Sammy do not. Shield, which is unfortunate, is aggressive, also has the most good shield options, as you can see. You got Bray, you got Rex Regum. Actually, Rex Regum, depending how boss counts reinforce, I never end up using reinforce, guys. So somebody in the comments, hook your fellow people up. Is the reinforce going to count as 49 black gems, or is we going to get double? Because if it gets double, you can have this ready to go, hit the finisher, and boom, you've cleared half of it instantly, and then just reload and finish it. So Rex Regum will be great at clearing the shield. Either way, he'll be good, but potentially great if the reinforce counts as double. NOD Rock, also good for the shield. Black gems into botches with a gem boost. So he can be a little bit of damage help. Don't count on it to be insane. But it's, I think, just 2 moves for NOD Rock. Also, if you have him, he's somebody that needs to go up for his trainer. It's just the Juggernaut. And then once the botches are out, so it's Juggernauts out, choose your 3, swipe, and then click the botches, and then rinse, repeat. Same thing over and over. Zombie Brett is interesting because you can do a little bit on the shield, or a little bit damage, not a lot. And a lot of people have Zombie Brett, but he can also help with the he can also help with the shield, interestingly enough, because you're just gonna sub to get reinforced gems, and then you're gonna do your countdown gems that turn the board into red, right? So throw your sub, put your countdowns out, swipe, turn the board red, repeat. Not gonna be great damage. Make sure this is loaded, and then towards the end, you are going to get these out of turn 1 and do 1 swipe and get your boost, and then the start of turn 2, do your swipe and then turn the whole board black, and then just put it down again, swipe, turn the whole board black, right? And repeat. Pendulum Backbreaker, he should be a very good shield breaker. Not really a ton of damage here, but some. I wouldn't worry about it. This is more important, right? Big Boss Man we talked about for the shield. Kaiser, Drip Plate Kaiser, you know, just black gems. You can use him. Bradshaw, Hogan, Ozzy, Brutus, Batista. Batista's finisher is like Sammy's, a little harder to load, but 7x3, you can just spam 21 gems over and over and over on Ruthless Aggression Batista. Bradshaw's got the same type of area, but then you have to use a sub to reload it. So it's sub to choose red. The red is the area, so not as good. Hogan we talked about. Ozzy, you guys know Ozzy, just throw your traps out, swipe boards black. Same thing with Brutus. Like I said, there's a ton of good options in aggressive. That should be easy for somebody to find something productive. If you have somebody in your faction bringing an unproductive person in the aggressive slot, you need to talk to him, because this is not a slot you can afford to have somebody not important, right? All right, moving on. Chaotic. Chaotic is not great, but there's some options. So Yeet J can do the shield, you know, with his blacks, right? He also has a percentage buff, so during turn 1 he can grow his damage. Like, he starts out for me with gear like 120 million 2 clicks. I can go 2 click and then 3 click, right? And that's a couple buffs, so he'll probably do like 300-ish million, and then he's ready to go black shield, right? And just break black gems with 2 clicks. So he's solid, do some damage. Seth is one a lot of people are going to have, I think, potentially at gold, and he can be very, very productive shield breaker. Just your countdown gems, 7x1, you turn them into multiplies, you make the multiplies black, right? So it takes a little bit longer, but they will be multiply gems a lot bigger. So you can at least do that, but it's 3 moves to get there, so you need to be set up ready to go, and then you can get 2 sets down for Seth. So he's a productive one that a lot of people will have. Priest is, a lot of these I wouldn't recommend leveling up for boss, but just because there's not a lot of good options in Chaotic, to be honest. So Zombie Priest, and I'm talking about the shield breakers first. We'll go to the damage in a minute. Well, actually, let's talk about him as we come to him. So I see, so Goat Ali actually has a couple ways you can do this. You can see you can make leeches and then turn 28 into black gems. So that's black gems, and then choose to reload it. Or you can use the finisher. That's a 7x3, 21 gems to black, and then choose 7 gems of purple to load that. You can do it either way. Very similar to Bradshaw, so you're not going to get a ton of gems, but it's some. BPP, shout out to Kid X, because I completely spaced BPP's sub Snowfall Pyro into black. Would have completely forgot about that. Sub leaves pyro black gems, right? And this destroys pyro gems. So you get a bunch of black gems and to choose. So BPP, a lot of people will have gold, and he can be somewhat helpful there. Not great, but at least it's something, right? And then Zombie Priest, like I said, he's just like Bradshaw, where you're choosing an area and then using a sub to set it up, I think. Maybe not. Let's look at him. I can't remember, to be honest. He's a little bit lower for me. It might be, he's got the Snowfall. 30 random, and then choose 7 to make into black, and then 26 to make into blue. So he's a little bit funky to get there, but he can get there as well. So that's that. For damage, like obviously KO. If your KO's the ultimate slot machine, I rarely in my entire life have seen KO do big damage on turn 1. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It almost never happens. People say, oh yeah, I hit super hard. We can do this with KO, blah, 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 blah. And then they always fall flat on their face, like every single freaking time. So KO plan on turn 2, but he can't do anything turn 2 if he's setting up on turn 1, and he's not going to help with the shield at all. So I don't think KO is a good carry at all, because you're going to do most likely very little damage on turn 1, and then turn 2 you're just going to sit and wait and wait and wait and wait for the shield to go down. And then what happens turn 3? right? Like, so it's not good, but it is what it is. You want to use KO, by all means do it. I think much better, safer is triple red Cody, especially with the gear. He can grow his damage. Oh, by the way, he's also got hardcore. So once he gets below 75% health, it's double buff city, 350%. That'll add up in a hurry. So just sub buff finisher, blah, 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 over and over. Okay. OTC is on there because he's OTC. You can do some nonsense if you want to use props, multiply gems, and then turn them purple. Whatever you want to do, it's off color, but with the purple buff, it can hit like probably 500 million on its own. So you can use him all the time, really, if you want to. And at this point, I'm just really reaching because I just don't like the options. So I went really old school. For some reason, you have him gold. You can maybe do a little bit of Mutant Seth, just spamming these two moves, but he's not going to be great, guys. I think Zombie Cody is worth using, potentially OTC. I hate KO. I think, honestly, in a lot of cases, you're going to be better off, again, bringing a shield breaker here. To be honest, I really do. I don't think, and maybe I'm missing somebody. Wouldn't be the first time, right? So probably like Eat for me here, somebody like that. I don't know. Actually, I'll probably use Zombie Cody. It depends how many breaker people we have, but I'll probably use Zombie Cody, to be honest. And then finally we get to defensive. And defensive is Jacob, like straight up Jacob. He's your damage dealer. Very similar to the Ali build, but easier. If you have Jacob's gear, I think I might end moment and stuff. I think I'll do like 800 million with mine moment gear, about like that, with I think I have a 150 strap ish. So just the sub, bunch of multiply gems. It's 4 MP. Rock bottoms 4 MP, reduces the timer, and then make the whole board red. So there's just enough that it works out. Entourage, I would run is both of the red and blue, probably like this, because that's 2 of each color. Your turn gives you 3, Santa Hogan gives you 4, and then Leo. That's what I would run. If you have that. If you don't have Leo, Bailey, Zombie Bailey, right? And then just boom, 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 and you're off, right? So Jacob is the guy. Some other stuff, Hall of Fame Foley you can use, no plates, so no Red Row Rumble or anything like that. But Hall of Fame Foley, if you got his gears, can grow his damage. Not great, but he'll be okay. So worth mentioning, and is a damage slot, right? You're just going to hit these moves repeatedly, and grows damage. Chuck red gems. Bubba, Trickster Bubba, can grow his gem damage as well, right? With the traps in the red. Right here. Finisher, choose a 7x4 area, swap into reds. 1 column, increase your red gem damage by 52%, and you make those traps into purple. So that fills this and this, right? And then you're recycling with this, so you can grow the damage. So he's a decent one, not great, but decent. Hall of Fame DDP, again, was reaching for some options for you guys. Hall of Fame DDP can use a red gem buff, and he can't grow it though because you have to swipe all the time, countdown gems. So you're looking at something like this: Diamond Cutter, Flying Clothesline, increase your red gem damage for 2 turns. So you hit this, you hit this, you hit this, and then you swipe and blow up the board and repeat. Special edition Cena, you can choose where you put your multiply gems, right? So you're going to put them on red if you use the choose move one. And then you can recycle, or you can just do this and gamble where they go, swipe the board. You're going to get multicolor. So either way works, however you want to do it. You can do this set and gamble, or you can do this set and choose where to put them. Right? And then finally, just because he makes a crap ton of multiplies, if you got the gear, the moments, all the stuff, people hit like 200 million with Miz, so add 7 times bigger multiplies to Miz, and I don't know, he's like 300-400 million probably. So I threw Miz on there. Shield sucks for defensive. It really does. You basically have Dirty Dom, who can 2-click the black shield, right here with these 2 moves: Springboard, Moonsault, and Frog Splash. After that, you're gonna need the choose to get it going again, right? And then these are really stretching. I don't recommend taking either of them gold. Hockey Talk Man can make a mobiles turn them black, like I think 36 of them, and then K-Quick. So yeah, you can see why this video took so long, because I think I'm trying to make a video not just for like the top players. And if you're the top players, I mean, honestly, you want a successful boss lobby. Let me give you a few examples. You want a successful, if you want to win, right? Like if you run something like this, let's just say this, something like that, for example, you'd win a bunch. You could also do double Jacob. You could potentially do double Hogan. You could do this, right? You know, just something where you're trying to break it, but you're going to need at least one bigger damage person that can cycle, preferably, and Hogan can end up in trouble there. And then, like, you need your breakers to survive. So at defensive, your best breakers healer steal. So at chaotic, you have options because, so I'm sorry, I said healer steal at defensive. That's not healer steal. The defensive one is the helping hands. So ignore that. It's helping hands at defensive. Chaotic is healer steal, where you can stop some of the boss's heals. So that's very useful. You can also use extra time to grant more time to your team. Healer steal is probably going to be more beneficial. Just you have to know when to use it and hit it. I think like level 6 should be enough to hit it every time to stop the boss from healing completely. You won't nerf it all the way, but it will definitely help. And then focused is Regeneration X. In order of importance, I rate Regeneration X on the low end. Damage blocking on your aggressive is the exhaust. It's kind of important. Then helping hands is kind of important. The biggest one is probably healer steal, this boss, to be honest. If you don't win turn 1, if you win turn 1, it doesn't really matter, right? So do keep in mind, guys, boss is like a problem, and the solution, if you have it, makes it easy, really. If you can meet the requirements to stop the stuff from happening, you will eventually win. So have enough shield breaking to go, have enough sustain to stay alive, so exhaust and helping hands, and then be able to break the freaking shield, and you'll win with just about any composition as long as you have a somewhat decent damage dealer, right? So one Jacob, one guy running exhaust or with a shield break, and you would probably be golden, right? Something like let's just do this. Like this could easily win. If you have the blocking the heal here and the aggressive one here, the exhaust, healer steal, and then helping hands, this could easily win boss, right? And there's nothing super outrageous here, right? So just keep that in mind. I hope this video helps. It's long. I don't know what you guys want from boss videos for sure. There's so many variables. I find it very hard to do actually, and feel like I did a good job. So let me know what you think. Interested in your feedback. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck tomorrow. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. So thank you. Oh yeah, remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna go actually play some games now today because I've been busy.